Welcome to another edition of Bowie TV Sports Spotlight. During this hour, we're bringing you highlights from our show's focus on all things sports in the DMV. Please be sure to follow us on all of our social media platforms. First, on Pitt Sports Zone, Morgan State University offensive coordinator Wright talks about his path to coaching and more. On Baltimore Ravens Rundown, we take a look at highlights and press conferences from the Ravens' Week 9 win against the Miami Dolphins on Thursday Night Football. Lastly, we catch up with Candi Waller on Coaching from the Couch for game highlights and behind-the-scenes footage from the Washington Commanders' Week 9 loss against the Seattle Seahawks. Don't go anywhere, and as always, enjoy this week's episode of Bowie TV Sports Spotlight. What's going on, everybody, man? Y'all know what it is. It's your boy Pitt Sports Zone, Bowie TV, coming to you live yet again. It is a MEAC week. As y'all know, it's going down tomorrow with my Morgan State Bears taking on the Howard University Bisons. But listen, today I got it first. I'm excited to have him, Coach Wright, Morgan State University offensive coordinator. How you doing today, Coach?
I'm doing great. How you doing?
I'm blessed, man. I appreciate you for taking time to join me.
No problem. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Always, man. Coach Wright was hired in March 2024 and has a solid coaching background from New Mexico and Florida International University. Among others, he's known for his detailed approach and his passion for football. Head coach Damon Wilson has praised his commitment to both on the field and off the field development, in addition to praise from Robert Morris University's head coach Bernard Clark Jr. How you doing, man?
Yeah, I'm doing all right. Good people there. Good people.
Yes, sir. Coach, let's start you off with a couple icebreakers.
Okay.
This is your first time on the show, to give the viewers and listeners a little bit about yourself. One, what is your favorite food?
What's my favorite food? Oh, all right. Probably. Well, I'm from Philly, so you know what? I'm gonna say like a good hoagie. You know what I mean? I'm gonna say cheesesteak, a hoagie, or something of that nature. Even though I don't really eat them that much anymore, but I would say that's probably my favorite food when I do get a chance to go ahead and get back to Philly and get a hoagie.
So, just for all of y'all out there who was trying to figure out what a hoagie is, that's what we up north call ourselves. I remember when I first moved here, and I would call soda pop, and I would call subs hoagies, and they're like, "What?"
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Let me get a hoagie. They're like, "What's a hoagie?" I'm like, "Oh my god!" Well, let me get a pop. What? What's a pop? Okay, Coach, give me a dream. Give me a favorite travel destination or a dream destination place to visit.
Ooh, I'm not much of a traveler like that. You know what? I want to go to Rome. Enjoy, the arena. I enjoy those type of movies like Spartacus, the Gladiator, all those type of things. So I kind of want to go see the just that type of environment. Big fan of those. So between that. I'm a big Godfather fan. Learned a lot of lessons from the Godfather.
Yes,
so just Italy, and love that food as well. I love Italian food. So those are probably the places that that's a place I guess I want to go ahead and visit.
Absolutely. And lastly, with you being from Philly, I guess I'm safe to assume that you are an Eagles fan.
Go Birds, baby. All the way through and through.
Well, I just want to let everybody know that, Pitts does not support that message, and that is not his views. The views of my guest is not the views and thoughts of mine. I'm from that Western PA, so
I understand completely.
So then my last icebreaker, because you're from Philly, is there an offensive coordinator like that you look at, or that when you were growing up and when you were getting into coaching that you looked up to and really kind of idolize or molded your game or your thoughts or your plays strategy around them, or how they operated within gameplay?
Villanova University. You hear me?
I can't hear you now. Yes, coach.
Okay. Yeah, I'm very fortunate because I was, I started off at coaching at LaSalle University, but then I eventually got to Villanova University with Sam Venuto was there. He was the offensive coordinator, so I took a little bit from Sam.
Okay.
Then I went down to FIU, had two great coordinators there. Tim Cramsey is actually the coordinator. He was there my last years. He's the offensive coordinator at Memphis right now,
Okay.
which you see what they're doing in college football. So I took a little bit from him. Scott Satterfield was our offensive coordinator at FIU as well. Scott Satterfield is the head coach at Cincinnati.
Okay.
Believe it or not, yeah, Cincinnati was at Louisville and then went to Cincinnati. So I've been around some great coaches. And then when I went to University of New Mexico, Bob DeBeff was a coordinator there, and learned a lot about the triple option. We were the number one rushing collegiate team in 2016. I'm talking about the Alabamas. I'm talking about everybody, with the
Mm.
triple options. So we were very, I've gained a lot of ground and kind of put my own little spin onto it, but
Yeah.
combining a lot of those offense to make what we are doing today.
Absolutely. And let's talk about your passion for coaching. What do you love most about coaching, and what keeps you motivated from day to day?
What I love most is when I see the players get it. And it might now, and it might not just be a play, it might just be the change of their life. Just that kind of they start off and you're shaping and molding them, and then all of a sudden, I'm talking about with just time management, grades, just becoming a man, maturing, and then you see them, like you kind of see them when they hit the switch, and it's kind of like that's what I've been talking about, right there. Like now you can start seeing those things, and you start seeing them taking those steps and progressing, becoming that uh, all around person, all around student athlete, all around better man. So you say, oh, that's the best part about coaching is that you can actually see a switch change in
Yeah.
certain young men. Now some of them already come with they're already planted and based and with good foundations, which is great. And now you can take them to another level, but then you come see what the one that had the hard upbringing and have to go really work on themselves. And then those are the guys, when you see those guys switch that corner, you say, okay, that's what coaching is about.
Absolutely. And, I'm definitely going to make sure when my son get out of school, I'm going to show him that aspect of, when you bring up flip to switch, because that's one of the things that, I emphasized to him this year in his first year of football. Him being 13 was that, when it comes to football, especially for him in his first year, I'll know when that flip is switched. I can see that he's still in his learning phase, and but once he, and I try to explain to him that, you're looking to do, you want to do too much, but don't know the understandings of the game just yet. Once you get that foundation under your feet, then that flip will switch, and you'll realize that now you're more instinctively reacting. Mentally is less physical; it's more mental about understanding the aspects of the game that you don't know at this juncture. So,
Most
I think
definitely.
that's a lesson for all student athletes. When it comes to, because you named a group of different things, especially student athletes in college. Maintaining the grades, maintaining the schedule, being able to get that understanding of balance that's needed, and once you're able to level off here, then you can start to put that attention to other places such as on the field, and everything then becomes synchronized, and it becomes more fluid.
Yeah, definitely. We practice in the morning, so I know that's a um huge thing for people just to get up and get going. But I think it's the best thing that we do because once you are up and you're getting going, we have 6:30 meetings, then we have 6:45 meetings, and all the way to the end of practice. You have that time management, and now it's not like, hey, I'm gonna go back to my dorm and go sleep for the rest of the day. Your
Right.
day becomes busier.
Yeah.
So you have to go ahead and learn to do those type of things. And I think that's what helped me when I flip my switch is, hey, there are things that need to be done. and I'm going to keep that knowledge of keep going on and every single day of trying to learn something. And that, like I said, when that's flipped my switch of the fact that now I don't have a problem with coming in the office at 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning to go ahead and get all my work done and then go throughout my rest of my day so that now I have all my ducks in order.
Absolutely. Coach, let's talk challenges and rewards. What are some of the biggest challenges you faced in your coaching career, and what rewards do you find most fulfilling?
Well, I'm a member of Kappa Alpha Psi fraternity, okay, incorporated, and one of the biggest things that I had to learn there was, to be humble, right? So that's one of the things that I've learned. I think in the coaching career, that kind of has helped me. You're like, hey, I'm putting in all this work, but I'm still not getting what I'm supposed to be getting out of it. You say, hey, you work hard, you're going to get this. You work even harder, you'll get this. And if you work even harder, you're going to get this. Well, then you work hard, and you're like, hold on now. I didn't get that. Right? And I didn't, and then you're like, okay, well, I might be the next man up. Right. Yeah. And then next thing you know, they like, whoop, whoop, right there. You're like, oh, what about me?
Yeah.
So that would probably be one of the biggest things to me that I was like, I had to get used to it. Yeah. And so I had to lean, and I mentioned my fraternity because I had to lean back and say, okay, well, yeah, there are things that you're going to try to do and they might not be right, but you got to still go ahead and push on. Right. Yeah. You still got to you guys still have to achieve. You still can't let that, I talk up to the players. We take some tough losses out there, of course, right? Some really close losses out there. You go back to the Georgetown game. We lost the play on the last play of the game, right? So, but you cannot let that game beat you versus going into MEAC conference play, right? So you have to learn from it, but you got to get over it and then come back and continue to play and keep playing. Well, it's the same exact thing in life. You think you might be the next guy to be the next boss or be the next vice president or whatever you might want to be, right? But sometimes things go over your head and you don't know why. But you have to go ahead and pushing. So that's probably the biggest thing that I've learned in the coaching profession is they're not going to always go the way you think they're going to go. Best believe that.
And definitely a testament to something you said. For me specifically, with everything that I've been doing, when you say you work hard, and it's like, I used to look at the tangibles of things, and be like, well, dang, like I'm grinding, and this ain't, this isn't even my daytime job. And a lot of people didn't even know that. They thought everything that I do within the sports realm was my daytime job. But it's the passion, right? But then even with the passion, there's definitely still an expectation that at some point, along the way, the hard work that you put in would be recognized for whatever it is. It doesn't always have to be monetary, right? But you hope and wish that acknowledgement would come at some point. And there have been moments where I used to be like, man, I'm about to just fade back. Like I put, it's a lot of investment that I'm not feeling the appreciation of, and it was my aunt who actually lived in New York who basically told me that the work that you put in, you may not see the residual the effects that you like, but rest assured, down the line, everything falls in place.
Mm-hmm.
So consistency and commitment are huge when it comes to everything. And then more importantly, just HBCU athletics is important to me because I understand that the media exposure of it for us lacks tremendously. And I know I'm not, a big media broadcasting company, but I've always believed that one voice can be just as loud as 100, depending on the message and how you yell it.
Exactly.
So when you talk about that, and then you talk about some of the challenges, and I'll just go ahead and jump into that now, and I'll come back to the next question. When you talk about the Georgetown game, and the mental letdown that was, because that was more mental. Nothing about that was physical. That was a mental loss, right? But then the benefit of that was coming back for homecoming, and playing a team like Virginia University of Lynchburg, right? Because regardless of the school, everybody's out there is on the same playing field.
Mm-hmm.
Every dog has their day. But the way that the offense was able to really put the mental block behind them, not less more the opponent, but the execution that they were able to do in the homecoming game, going into the bye week, then for me at play has to be, definitely a good feeling, going into the bye week for you as the offensive coordinator.
Yeah, it is. It is. The way they bounce back and execute it, and then of course we're always still a work in progress. So there's a lot of things that we still need to see, but we wanted to make sure going into the MEAC that we, are trying to go ahead and establish our goals, right? So it was very, very good for us to see that we didn't come back and still make some of the same mistakes that we just, self-inflicting mistakes is what I call them, that we've made before. So hopefully, we're still pushing in the right direction.
Absolutely. Early on, right, last year you had the offensive rookie for the MEAC and, Jason Collins, right? And then he's also our preseason, MEAC player of the year. Can you share a little bit just about Jason that others don't get to see, the grind, the work ethic, the way he goes at it, not just his preparation on the field, but his preparation off the field as well?
Well, Jason, when I first got here, Jason was a receiver.
Mm,
And we wound up putting him in the backfield, and he just kind of took to it. And then I know that there's a history of in high school with him doing some things in the backfield as well. So you could just see from day one that he was a little bit different in the backfield than what he was at receiver, which is great because those are the kind of running backs that I love, the ones that you can put in the backfield and then split out and do different
yeah,
things with. So that's probably my number one. I used to coach Brian Westbrook, and that he was that kind of guy.
yeah,
So those are I'm constantly looking for that type of production. And then Jason is also a very smart football player. So he doesn't you can tell him things one time or he might have to do it one and a half, but he pretty much understands what you're trying to get and what the concept you're trying to get, and he's going to work on it. And he asks questions, right? So he is one that can help hold a heavy plate on him and do different things because it just naturally kind of comes to him. He has the athletic ability, and then the mental side of it. You don't have to do a lot for him to understand what you're trying to get out of the concept. And if he has a question, he's going to ask. So
okay,
that's the biggest thing to me. They say a closed mouth don't get fed, right? But we're gonna try
yeah,
to feed Jason. So
yeah.
I was like, hey, you good? He said, Coach, I got it. Boom. Then it's done. So and then he'll bring his athletic ability and God given talent once he gets on that field. So he's got to point him in the right direction.
Coming off a bye week, what adjustments or improvements did you focus on during this time, and how do you think they'll benefit the team moving forward?
We had to get back to basics. We had to get back to basics. We had to get back to playing football. We turned our record doesn't show, but as far as we turned the ball over a lot as an offense in the beginning, right? And then two losses there. The Towson game, we turned the
Yeah,
ball over. We're driving and we turned the ball over, and then the USA game, South Alabama game, we
yeah,
driving the ball downfield and we turn it over. Driving the ball downfield, we turn it over. So we have to get back to playing football. The self-inflicted mistakes, the penalties, those type of things. Really, really focused on that and. How can we manage those things that, as we well know, things will happen.
yeah,
But how can we manage those? How can we put ourselves in the right situation? And then also, as far as who we're getting the ball to, how we're getting them the ball. We know who our playmakers now. Nobody's a freshman anymore, right? So we know Randall, number 20, has the running
yeah,
back has come along. So where's his fold into the mix with Jason and KJ, and Dorian? So putting those pieces together
yeah,
at the bye week, and then getting everybody back healthy, trying to get people back healthy, so that when we go in there, we're firing on all cylinders, right? You want to go into conference play as healthy as possible, getting your guys back up front, getting guys back. So that's kind of what we focused on offensively during this week, tightening up the screws on certain things, that self-inflicted mistakes, that if we don't have those self-inflicted mistakes, our record will look different, but also learning from those mistakes as well, right? So, don't ignore them. They happen for a reason, right? So it's kind of like, if we were in the NFL, it's kind of like all of those games were preseason games until you get into the conference, right? So now you go back and you look at those games and say, hey, what did we do to lose this game?
Yeah.
And how can we go ahead and benefit from it?
And
This is Karita Parks with Bowie TV at Hard Rock Stadium. The Baltimore Ravens won their second game in a row with a 28-6 victory over the Miami Dolphins. It was also the return of Lamar Jackson, who's been out the past 3 games with a hamstring injury, but he didn't look like he missed a beat, throwing for 4 touchdowns tonight. It was also a homecoming for Lamar Jackson and many of his teammates, so he was happy to get the win.
2 more from
Lamar, I know you want to get a win no matter what, but how nice was it to get one here in South Florida? I think they had like 60 or something people here just doing that with your teammates.
I was hoping he got him in his zone. But last time we played down here like 2021, Thursday night. Yeah, because I think we played Minnesota, then played the Dolphins, and we lost. So we wasn't trying to let that happen again. Some of the guys was on the team, but I just felt like I couldn't lose this game, coming down here and performing in front of the crowd again. But shout out to everyone now too, because we got to do it.
The Ravens defense was also huge in this game. Alohi Gilman, he forced a fumble early in the first quarter to set up the Ravens' first touchdown of the game. Defense went on to have 2 more turnovers. That is the most that they've had in one game this season. I spoke to Coach Harbaugh about how this defense has responded since the bye week.
The defense had multiple turnovers today, and since the bye, they've been producing turnovers. Just what can you say about how they've responded?
I think the defense played great. I mean, just all the things that you talked about. We talked about the ball assaults, we call it. We hadn't had enough of them. We've been trying, but we couldn't get the ball. And to get the 3 today, first time I think we've got multiple turnovers probably in the game. That was really big. And to see the way we did it, I mean, we had 2 guys that caused fumbles and recovered the fumbles. And then to throw the ball deep down the field, Malachi to make that play deep. That's why we drafted him, because that's what he does. And
it was also a big night for the Ravens tight ends. 3 of Lamar Jackson's 4 touchdowns were to Mark Andrews, who had 2, and then Charlie Kohler, who had the 3rd one. Isaiah Likely, he also has some big plays tonight. I spoke to Likely about how it feels for this team to be making progress towards their goal of getting more wins so that they can make a playoff run. Isaiah, coming out of the bye, just knowing that you have that goal to keep winning, does it feel like you're making progress towards that goal? I know it's just 2 back-to-back big wins.
I mean, for sure. I mean, and that's just, everybody really just back getting healthy. Everybody just, I felt like everybody was having fun out there. You guys seeing, a lot of celebrations, a lot of everybody turning up together, whether it was defense, offense, touchdowns. Everybody was finally having fun, letting steam off, and showing that we back.
This is Karita Parks. That has been your Ravens Rundown. Be sure to follow us on social media at Bowie TV Sports, and you could also find us on Comcast in Prince George's County.
this is the Warriors Psalm. This is something we talked about, but basically says, "You will not fear the terror of the night, nor the arrow that flies by day, nor the pestilence that stalks in darkness. It will not come near you, because you have made the Lord your dwelling place." Our guys kept faith, and they showed a lot of toughness, a lot of courage, faith and guts. And that's what it takes. It takes belief and it takes toughness. It takes faith and it takes guts. And I'm proud of our guys for that. We had 2 games that we needed to win in 4 days, and they were absolute must-wins, both of those 2 games. And for our guys to step up the way they did, and to step out the way they did, and to play the kind of football they did, with their backs to the wall, on the canvas, all right, and to get back up and do what they did is commendable. And it just means we're 2 games under 500. That's all it means. But we're 2 games under 500, right? We were 4 games under 500. So that's where we're at. Now we'll get a couple extra days, and we'll get ready for Minnesota in Minnesota. Second leg of our 3-game road journey here. So proud of the guys and proud of the faith that they showed. What questions do you have?
You know, Lamar's first game in
Yeah.
over 30 days. Do you have anything to say to him after the performance?
I said it's been a long journey, man. It's been a hard road, you know, and not just the 30 days, but even before that, you know. And I'm proud of him. Proud of the way he came out and played, you know. And proud of the way Tyler played last week. Both those two guys played well. T. Martin deserves a lot of credit. You know, he did a great job with those guys, and Monk and the offensive coaches. I thought the game plan. I thought what we've done with the offense the last 2 weeks has been really good, really excellent. So we got to keep building off that.
The defense, the defense had multiple turnovers today, and since the bye, they've been producing turnovers. Just what can you say about how they've responded?
I think the defense played great. I mean, just you know, all the things that you talked about. We talked about the ball assaults, we call it. We hadn't had enough of them. We've been trying, but we couldn't get the ball. And to get the 3 today, first time I think we've gotten multiple turnovers probably in the game. That was really big. And to see the way we did it, I mean, we had 2 guys that caused fumbles and recovered the fumbles. And then to throw the ball deep down the field, Malachi to make that play deep. That's why we drafted him, you know, because that's what he does. And for him to make that play was really a way to close the game out for sure. I think Zach's doing a great job. I mean, Zach holding those guys together, keeping his poise, never flinching, always coaching all the details, and all the guys. I mean, you know, Chuck and Double D and Dennis and Tooch and Matt. Those guys are just doing a great job.
30-some days. Did it feel like that out there?
Yeah, a little bit. I just said this out there. I missed the pass debate, like the first drive, so it was going through my mind the whole game. But yeah, it's cool. We got the dub.
What was going through your mind? Just like that you hadn't played well, you had to shake it off, or what was going through your mind?
I just wanted to put points on the board. You know, I didn't want to start off too slow. You know, after that play happened, I was ready to go. It kind of tipped me off a little bit.
How much did your scramble, the first drive of the second half, when you kind of took off on that third down to pick that up, how much did that kind of help get you guys going, do you think?
You know, I actually thought that was a lineman that would chase me. That's why I wasn't really going. When I found out it was a lineman, I'm like, I should have took off for real. But I feel like it helped out a little bit. You know, got us going, and I think we capitalized, scored another touchdown after. Yeah.
Are you talking about though? I mean, you wanted. I'm sure you want to be out there. You're watching your team, and then you finally get out there in your first game back. You throw 4 touchdowns.
It's awesome. Like you said, you know, I just wanted to get out there with my guys. Should have texted the game, you know, but unfortunately I couldn't. But it's just great to be back, man. Like I said, get a dub.
Lamar, it looked like on that third down to Likely, a little short pass in the first half, they kind of have a hold of you when you scrambled away, and you looked like you kind of pulled away, and obviously were able to make the throw. Did that kind of feel good given the the hamstring injury and all that before?
Yeah, it felt great. I didn't have any problems. I was feeling good out there.
Lamar, after halftime, you guys started fast, came out, scored. Was there a shift that occurred, like during halftime, a message, or did you just feel more comfortable?
I just felt a little comfortable, and our guys was just ready to score. You know, shout out to the offensive line; they did great. All phases, all skill position, and our running backs. Those guys were just locked in and wanted to put points on the board because we only scored twice first half.
How big were the tight ends? I think 3 of your 4 touchdowns were Mark Andrews, Charlie Cole, and Isaiah Likely. He had some big plays too.
Yeah, tight ends played a huge game for us. Like you said, all of those guys, Charlie, Mark, Likely, man, they do it all. Block, catch the ball, run sometimes. You know, shout out to those guys. They played a wonderful game.
Lamar, are you talking about the first throw to Bateman on third and like 3 on your first drive?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I didn't like that. He beat him. He beat the receiver, and we was doing that the whole week in practice. I don't know. I tried to do a drop a little bit, so mechanically, I feel like that's why the ball was off.
Lamar, do you feel the momentum of this team building a little bit? I mean, it was only 6 days ago when you guys were 1-5, and there were questions about your health and your status. Can you feel it in the locker room and even on the practice field that the team's starting to gather some momentum?
Yeah, I mean, it's do or die, you know, win or go home. And usually, you know, we start off winning games, and we never be behind, but right now we're behind, and we all got to step it up.
I mean, did it feel like your guys' season will be over in any way, but you saying this is kind of do or die if you guys lost tonight?
No, like I said, we locked in. We knowing it's do or die. Got to go out there and play football. We can't worry about mistakes, because mistakes happen in the NFL. Things like that are going to occur, but we just got to move on and keep doing what we're doing.
Two more from
Lamar, I know you want to get a win no matter what, but how nice was it to get one here in South Florida? I think Zay had like 60 or something people here just doing that with your teammates.
I was hoping he got in the end zone. But last time we played down here like 2021, Thursday night. Yeah, because I think we played Minnesota, then played the Dolphins, and we lost. So we wasn't trying to let that happen again. Some of the guys was on the team, but I just felt like I couldn't lose this game, coming down here and performing in front of the crowd again. But shout out to everyone on our team because we got to do it.
How many people in jail?
That I know of, I don't know. I believe I seen some familiar faces when I was just out there, but I don't know.
All the chaos of the game. Did you feel like on this game?
I mean, I felt like when Mark scored the first two touchdowns, I was like, yeah, it's probably gonna be one of our games. And we just kept going, just try to amplify DH and just try to get everybody involved too.
What did it need for you personally to kind of get going? I'm sure that you were kind of probably hoping for more in the first few games back.
Yeah, I mean, it was just, I feel like it'd just be a stress relief to be able to run with the ball in your hand, be able to celebrate, just be able to have a connection with your boys out there in the place.
That makes a big difference to have L back, I would assume, for that production.
I mean, I love all the quarterbacks, but L, I feel like, just playing with L a lot more, the past two years, and just be able to build that chemistry, taking a lot more reps with him. I mean, I feel like, just me and him were on the same field together.
I mean, last year, the multiple tight end sets, you guys did a lot of damage in that. How important was that today to kind of get that going, get the three of you going, because we all have seen, when you three are really going, this offense seems to go.
For sure, and I feel like, that's the talk that we all have with each other before the game even starts. We let them know, like, just the whole group just be that spark. When you're 111 and let the offense be the offense. And I feel like, you'll see a tight end that, whether it's me, Pat, Mark, Charlie, at point of attack with a lot of players. So, we went out one-on-one, the plays usually positive.
Isaiah, when you come out of half and you have 6 first downs on that drive, just what do you think that says of messaging wise and just to be able to establish momentum is pretty balanced?
I mean, just having momentum, just going into drives, being able to turn 3 into 7. I mean, I feel like as an offense, I love Jordan's style, but we hate when he's on the field, kicking to other teams. So just being able to just, capitalize on all the drives.
Isaiah, coming out of the bye, just knowing that you have that goal to keep winning, does it feel like you're making progress towards that goal? I know it's just two back-to-back to make one.
I mean, for sure. I mean, and that's just, everybody really just back getting healthy. Everybody just, I felt like everybody was having fun out there. You guys seen, a lot of celebrations, a lot of everybody turning up together, whether it was defense, offense, touchdowns. Everybody was finally, having fun, letting steam off. And showing that we got.
Do you think it's a big part of it, just being able to go out there and have fun and let loose?
For sure. I mean, I'd say, when you lose a couple of games in a row, it starts, having that bitter feeling. You start walking around like, dang, what could I have done better? Then you're starting to overlook a lot of things. And I feel like everybody, forgets that, you're playing a kid sport. Have fun.
Early in the game, how soon did you go with that?
Yeah, I know. I think it's huge. Anyone who gets a takeaway early, it just starts that momentum, takes that momentum early. Offense capitalized on it with the score, and it gets everyone in that rhythm, that flow. You know what I mean? Where you're aggressive, and that's just the only thing you're thinking about. So yeah, there's some things we could clean up, but mentality-wise, I think we brought it the right way, and we kept it, the rest of the game.
What does it say about? Going when I'm sure you go against Lamar in practice, but a guy that hasn't played in 30-some days and he goes out there and throws 4 touchdown passes.
Well, in my experience in the past playing this guy, you have some long nights before the games. So I'm happy to be on his team. And I know the guys who are going against him are probably going through the same experiences. So obviously it's a great win. Great job by him. He's obviously an MVP for a reason. And, it's just the beginning. And I feel like he's getting comfortable back and getting into his groove. And that's just the beginning. So where can we go? Sky's the limit.
You and Kyle Hamilton were both flying around out there. How do you feel like that partnership's going so far?
Oh, it's like riding a bike.
It's like two homeboys playing pickup at the YMCA. So me and K-Ham just picked up where we left off. We obviously connect on a different level because we have some experience together. We're similar personalities. I don't know if it's the Notre Dame in us, but you know that connection is easy. And I'm just happy to be around him. He's one of the best, if not the best guy in the league. And to be around him, to make plays with him, I'm just having a blast doing it.
I love it. Harb said that Lamar was lights out on Tuesday. I'm not sure how much eyes you got on him during the practice, but did anything stand out from you watching him in your kind of first full go, his first full go?
Yeah, I mean, it's just the confidence, man. It's the confidence, it's the approach, it's the mentality that he brings, and it's what he brings to the rest of the offense as well. Obviously, his talent on the field, but the mentality, the confidence he brings around, and he elevates everybody. I think that's pretty cool to see playing against him, but being first-hand experience, being around him. He's just himself, and he's a beast, and I'm happy he's my quarterback.
In what way you say matching you and Hamilton connecting? In what ways, in what level, you mean by that? Just in terms of like how you explain the dynamic between you?
Yeah, I mean, I've explained it when I first got traded here. He's was the young freshman and I was a senior, so I've seen him grow and develop. I helped him in a way to get to that place, but not taking the credit. He is who he is. But I think we're just like-minded people. The way that we approach the game, the way that we talk, communicate, and he's a calm-mannered, confident, flying around guy, and I feel like I'm the same way. So when you have that too, the chemistry on the field is easy. And I played with a bunch of different safeties, but being out there with him, man, it's got to be one of the best to be around because it's easy. He makes the game easy. We do it for each other. We help each other out, and it shows on the field.
Before the bye, you said this defense was almost there. What's been working so well these past 2 games?
Yeah, I think just being detailed in our craft every day, every week. We've built on it since I've been here. That's all I've known, just the beginning. And I think it just shows how far we can go. Still not there yet. We'll just keep it going from here, but we're going to enjoy it for sure.
When I got you to delete the picture. No, it was good, man. Great to win two in a row. Glad to hire with the team, all 3 phases. Guys just focused and locked in. I think it showed today. Another win for us.
You can see he's not taking pictures.
No, I've given that up. Hold on, let me fix my face first for y'all too.
Derek, all 3 tight ends had big plays today. What did it mean to get them involved, and what type of impact do they have?
Man, they do all the dirty work. Happy for those guys, man. The time was coming, so happy that it happened today on prime time. Guys got opportunity, took advantage of it. Charlie 2 touchdowns, 2 straight games, so I don't know. Pro Bowl Charlie.
What's it like having Lamar back out there, and is that a boost when you get a guy like that, obviously?
I think you see everybody's happy, when Lamar's out there. He gives everybody opportunity to make plays, and you saw it today. He's gonna find you if he's open. If you're open, he's gonna do whatever he can to get everybody involved. Whatever player he is, the teammate he is, and it speaks when he goes out there and plays.
Going back to that, it's his hometown. It seemed pretty loud to us tonight. Could you tell how much the Ravens flock traveled?
Oh yeah, flock traveled well, and with every national anthem, they do I thought we was back in Baltimore. That was loud. So shout out to Flock Nation, man. We appreciate the support. Traveling, it's not easy. But yeah, it felt like a home game for sure.
Derek, what was the dialogue in the second half offensively, other than, you scored 14 points, but didn't feel like you were able to sustain much other than that one drive?
Yeah, I think just stay locked in, string plays together, and then once we do that, finish the drive with points. I think that's all we're focused on. Just got to finish drives and put points up, and I think we did that.
Ronnie said it was made clear you guys were going to continue to run the ball. Was that something John or Todd said, in here at halftime?
No, I think that's just what the identity. We want to be able to run the football and be efficient and dominate the line of scrimmage, and when we want to do that. And I think we just had to go out there and execute. And shout out to the line tight end, everybody blocking. Having Pat back is huge. So just great execution by everybody.
Derek, it was a homecoming. It was a homecoming for a lot of the guys on the team, Lamar, Zay, etc. How nice was it to get the win for them here?
Oh yeah, I mean the boys come back to the crib for the boys. It's always good to come back. Especially for them, home, playing in front of their family, everybody they grew up knowing probably here tonight. So happy for him, happy for Lamar. I know they were all screaming for him. So yeah. I mean, when I just go home to Jacksonville, it's always fun. More fun getting the tickets, but it's just fun, playing in front of your hometown. So.
Hey, Derek, when you
All right, guys, we'll get rolling. There's times you sit up here and after a bad loss, you say what just happened, and I don't have to ask that question. I know exactly what happened, and started right from the very beginning. First offensive series, penalty, knocked us back out. First defensive series, penalty, that's how we started. And we killed our momentum before we could even get momentum. And give Seattle credit, I thought, for a great night, but, for us to have issues that allowed them to have that night are stunning. We couldn't stop them, and we completely stopped ourselves. And so I'm furious, obviously, and into that emotion, but it's also hard to have that. You see the entire team, on a knee, circling up on Jaden, and who's on the ground after, his injury. So the update on him is he does have a left elbow injury. I'll update you more once I know more, but that's what I know tonight. But what I can say is I can speak for every coach and player, and just unacceptable performance by us tonight. And told the team, we're the one dug the hole. We're the ones that dig it out. The solutions are from within. So we missed it by a mile. We missed it out by a mile. Great environment with fans, great setup, like all the way through. And man, we completely missed that chance and that opportunity tonight. So that stings, and we'll get all of it, found out and look through. I'll give you updates on injuries once I know them tomorrow. So glad to start, John. Or Nikki, yep.
Was there any consideration to not having Jaden go in for that series in which he got injured and having Marcus finish it out?
Yeah, not at the space. I mean, obviously, like the hindsight, you don't want to think that way where, an injury could take place. Obviously we're more conservative in that spot to, run and hand off and not have reads to go. But just the end result, Nikki, obviously I'm bummed.
Yeah. And given how much of the season is left, what can you do to try to change course here? I mean,
we have to. And that's exactly what I told the team. We've got to do that. And when you miss it like we did tonight, man, that it's frustrating and all the emotions that go with that. I also said we're the same ones that have to dig us out. So we'll look at everything tomorrow and find our ways, but the answers would come from within. And so we've got to be able to do that. But it was a rough one for us in the locker room. How do we fix? Where do we go? Like that's what the plan calls for. Coaches, players, everybody.
And going back to the decision to keep him in the game, obviously it's football, things happen. You said hindsight. But because of his style, would there have been any extra thought given to that, and just knowing that he does like to run and maybe leave himself more susceptible?
Yeah, obviously I'm just gutted by it. I'm just bummed. We didn't have any read plays on it, and the one that he was on injured is usually a runner or a throw to the flat. It's not a scramble, so it wasn't a designed read or play into that spot. If we run it 50 times, it's either a handoff or a throw. I'd say 50 times. So it's a bummer, man, in a big way.
Yes, there was some breaking news. Literally, that's why we were late.
Yeah, facts.
Breaking news on Frankie Louvu getting suspended one game, as if the Commanders needed to lose anybody else. Frankie Louvu getting suspended one game for committing his third hip drop tackle on the season. Last week he was fined $46,000 for a hip drop tackle against the Chiefs. It happened again on yesterday. He has been suspended one game. So we'll get to that in a moment, because I'm like, okay, this is TV. This is what happens.
Yep.
You have a plan and you have to pivot. But I think with that happening, it aligns with some other things that, yes, we got to talk about, and is a huge concern with the team. This is a lot, you guys. So, all right. Wole is, so I think we're going to do a couple things. If you have questions, Wole, we're still going to star them.
Yeah.
Try to get to as many questions as we can and go through clips. And then we're going to do what you did last week, right, Wole?
Yeah, well, yeah. Also, if you got a question for Candi about what she saw, at the game, and maybe after the game, and maybe getting, the temperature of the players after that hard game to watch for fans, and I'm sure a hard game to watch for reporters. You have any questions? We'll put the link in the chat, and you'll have like a minute to ask Candi that question. So, we'll put that link in the chat, and you all could be on camera and asking Candi the questions.
Yeah, I am looking at my messages, and I'm sorry. This is what happens when it's live, okay? Because the league did send out. Now I'm gonna just read that to y'all.
Yeah, go for
You're
it.
really gonna have to hit the love button and share this and like and all that. Because I'm actually reading straight up the NFL statement, and you should my dismay of the subject title: Frankie Louvu suspended one game. Wait, that's our Frankie. Wait, who? I know that guy. What are you talking about? It says Washington Commanders linebacker Frankie Louvu has been suspended without pay for one game for repeated violations of playing rules intended to protect the health and safety of players, including during Sunday's game against the Seattle Seahawks. During the first quarter of the Seattle-Washington game, Louvu violated Rule 12, Section 2. Y'all gonna make me put my glasses on. Which states that it is a foul if a player uses the following technique to bring a runner to the ground. A, grabs the runner with one or both hands, or wraps the runner with both arms, and B, unweights himself by swiveling and dropping his hips and her lower body, landing on and or trapping the runner's legs at or below the knee. This is Luvu's third hip drop tackle of the season. He was previously fined for actions in week 4 and week 8. Luvu will be eligible to return to the Commanders' active roster on Monday, November 10th, following the team's November 9th game against the Detroit Lions. Under the collective bargaining agreement, Luvu may appeal the suspension. Any appeal will be heard and decided upon by either Derek Brooks, Raymond Foster, or Jordy Nelson, the hearing officers jointly appointed and compensated by the NFL and NFLPA to decide appeals of on-field player discipline. You all got that straight up from my email from NFL Communications. Okay.
No, Paul said, because the question is, can you trade a suspended player? I doubt that's going to happen. I get the frustration though. I get the frustration.
Yeah, I understand the frustration. But I mean, if anything, that should just be more frustration of like this season is just not going well. And this it's almost like an indicator, right? Like the stars are just not aligned. There are no stars. There's no stars. It's black. It's dark. It's clouds. Because really, and what's interesting is they haven't been flagged.
Yeah, that's the interesting part, right? You've been flagged for these players, yeah.
So what is? I got a lot of questions because it becomes a. Is there something going on where they're just not understanding what the penalty is, or something? Because why aren't they getting flagged?
Yeah.
Or why isn't this being taught? I mean, it's hard. It's hard to stop. This is the way they've been playing football their whole entire lives. It's just like, well, what are you doing? Like if you're literally making this and you've done it 3 times already this season, why hasn't it been corrected if it's being acknowledged? And thank you, Shelly, for reposting the stream.
I appreciate it, Shelly. Shelly, you awesome. Shelly, you awesome.
You're so super awesome, Shelly. Thank you so much. I'm in shock. I have just been in shock. Can I get out of shock? Can I get out of shock?
I don't think that's gonna happen anytime soon.
I don't think it's gonna happen. And it's almost like I gotta keep going because it's like it's my job. I have to. But it's also like, oh, is this really happening? Is this really happening, you guys? Because you know what? Wow. Okay. All right. Y'all are seeing a live reaction.
Yeah.
So, that's okay. That's crazy. All right. Okay. So I would say choose your own adventure, but we have to have an agenda.
Yeah, I got you.
And you gotta have an agenda. And so let's start. Okay, we started with Frankie's suspension, and so we have started. The show has already started. Everybody,
we're here. We're here.
I'm like, wait. Okay. Jaden's injury.
Yeah.
Let's start there. Let's start with the injury news. Marshawn Lattimore out for the season with a torn ACL. Luke McCaffrey, a fractured collarbone, still uncertain of his timetable. Jaden Daniels, a dislocated left elbow, still uncertain of his timetable. And there were several other players that went out for various reasons. In yesterday's game, Quan Martin, I have the list somewhere. Well, you know I do. Yeah, Quan Martin, I think it was a hamstring. Game day Trey Amos, a hip. Eddie Goldman was evaluated for a concussion. So just a lot, folks. Let's start with a question that we know one of the GOATs of sports journalism, David Aldridge, asked Coach Quinn in the after-game presser. So let's start there, you all.
Dan, I'm asking this really respectfully. I want you to understand that. But Jaden's been hurt 3 straight times in 3 straight games. Does this organization have to take a different approach with him with regard to keeping him on the field, even if a game's lost or you think there's a chance, even if you think there's still a chance to win, if it's not capable of giving him the support he needs on the offense and the defensive side for him to be at his best?
Yeah, I think the answer to that is we will give him the support to do that. And I'm certain of that, Dave, to make sure that we do that in every single way. And that's calls, offense, defense, like the whole way through, man. I absolutely feel that way on, the hamstring injury. And so tonight with an elbow, yeah, it's really important we get that part right, and we will.
And so today, when Coach Quinn had his day after game press conference with the media, he opened up his statement, and I also on my page, I hope you all saw it on my X at CWallSC, as well as on my Facebook, Candi Waller. Darrell Owens, if you all know Darrell, he is the videographer, photographer with Bowie TV, with me covering the Washington Commanders. I did post a picture that Darrell captured with head coach Dan Quinn holding Jaden's hand when the trainers were tending to him, as well as 3 of his closest teammates, Bobby Wagner, Mike Sanderstill, and Jeremy Reeves, right there with him. So check that picture out. I'm going to play the opening for DQ's press conference, and we will check back in on the whole injury.
I know many of you have been asking about the thought process of Jaden being in the game in that situation. I get that. I've been thinking about it honestly nonstop too, and for me the answer is, man, I missed it. But I would, I'll fill you in on my thought process. At the start of the fourth quarter, I guess it was probably like 12 and a half minutes left in the game, and that was going to be the last drive for a couple of guys, Jaden and Zach and Debo and LT, and so we're going to have any read run plays, and meaning no carries, for the quarterback on a run. And honestly, man, that's where I missed it. Of course, he could scramble. It's Jaden. It's what he's special at, and that is 100% that's on me. And I also said last night in the presser to our fans that, man, did we miss our mark as a team. And with that performance, we need to fix it. They created an awesome environment, at the stadium for the game, and that fix needs to be done now. So just wanted to open up with that and get started. I'll also give you some other injury news. Confirm Jaden dislocated his left elbow. No timetable on that right now. Still gathering the information. Marshawn had an MRI today and confirmed an ACL injury for him. So that will knock him out for the season. And Luke fractured his collarbone. Still working through the timetable for that, but that'll definitely knock him out for a while. So tough night on the injury front. All 3 of these guys are absolutely elite competitors, and they mean a ton to our team for their play style and what they represent. So all that said, we can get rocking with you guys, but I felt it was important to fill you in on the beginning with Jaden and thought processes and missing it, and that's me.
He seems so like emotionally depressed for that. Like, and I do want to give him his flowers though with that. I know some people have given him some negative flack about having Jaden out there, but I do want to give him his flowers of being a stand-up dude and being accountable. And I thought it was genuine. You know what I mean? Like, it was very genuine to me.
Yes. Yes, totally agree. And I mentioned the picture because like that's Dan Quinn, right? Holding his player's hand. This was tough for everybody. I did get a glimpse at the TV version of seeing Coach Quinn walk over there, and it looked like the man was about to burst into tears. And so I mentioned the picture because I thought it was an important point just to kind of shape who he is, like this, and or help to shape a part of who he is for everyone to know, because I know he was getting dragged. I mean, listen, in the press box, I will share this. Maybe like when the defense was on the field